Hey, what is up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam, and today I want to start off with some extremely fascinating artwork. It was created by a man who says that he actually came and that the art was inspired by his own in-person experience with beings not of this earth. And so the man's name is Robert Lumos, and he is a Spanish artist, well known, and he has an extremely fascinating story to tell. And so according to Mr. Lumos, after seeing a UFO, an extraterrestrial craft in person, as well as these beings face to face, he was inspired to share his experiences here by painting what he saw and sculpting true-to-life copies of the beings that he saw that fateful day. And so to give you some backstory here, the man was on vacation in Brazil when he went for a walk. Bringing his pencil and some paper with him, he set out to catch some air walking amongst the sand dunes, where he found a quiet place to relax, only to discover a massive saucer-shaped object slowly coming into view from the thick clouds above. And that became quickly clear to him was nothing of this planet. As the object appeared, Robert explains that a window, or what looked like a window, opened up with two figures looking back at him. He said, quote, "They had a regal bearing with long necks, deformed skulls, and black eyes. The female, or what looked like the female, was wearing what appeared to be a small tiara on her head. But despite their strange physical characteristics, Robert did not sense that any harm was meant for him, and that they were simply observing him, or rather maybe attempting to help him. As he sat there, speechless and in awe of what was sitting in the sky before him, he could only wonder, as the object slowly began drifting away, that the beings on board had possibly visited and chose to visit him precisely because of his painting and sculpting skills. And so not only would he be able to accurately portray what they looked like, but they would give the people of Earth an idea so as to whether or if they returned one day, it would reduce fear in those who would have trouble believing or explaining what they were seeing. He says, quote, "My role is to reduce the fear of them before they make their return. I make this work so you are not scared of seeing a figure with a long neck and scales. Perhaps in 20 years, people will have seen these figures, and then they'll say, 'That crazy man was right.'" Now, of course, Robert admits that with stories like this, and I've found this as well in this research, that you'll have a lot of people who find it very hard to believe that beings like this exist and that they have visited us in the past. However, with the tens of thousands of eyewitness testimonials, abduction cases, many of them detailing to a T the type of beings exactly of which this man has painted and sculpted here, or what are usually called the reptilian species of extraterrestrials. This is not the first time they've been seen, far from it in fact. And so Robert will continue to create this artwork and to spread knowledge of what happened to him. There's really no other motive. In fact, he has a website and actually did a recent Vice interview, which you can find down in the video description, so be sure to check it out. And if you wish, you can do further research just to see how many times the depictions of these beings have been spoken about, drawn, and communicated by thousands of other eyewitnesses around the world who have come into contact with them. So, with that, very, very interesting story. Let me know what you guys think down below. Now, in other news, we have some new UFO sightings. The first one was filmed in Colorado Springs, Colorado on March 4th. Posted by Shannon Carithers on YouTube, of some strange, mysterious glowing lights in the distance.
Same spot, and it looks like it's like orange. It looks like fire is what it looks like. Oh, there's a second one just came on. You see that? I have no idea what that is. But they're getting brighter. One just flickered out again. Now it just came on above it, the one that flickered. That is really weird. So the light was below it, and if the lower one flickered out, and then the light came back on above it.
Okay, so as I'm speeding this footage up here, just to give you an idea of the activity without playing the whole 3-minute clip again, in my opinion, what we may be seeing here are flares of some sort. And the reason I say that is because we get to this sort of flickering that comes with flares. We have one that will finally disappear or burn out, only to have another one appear above it, and so that's what I'm leaning towards here. I can't be sure though, so maybe if any of you guys over this area know of any tests that they were doing on this night, put it down below and give me your opinion. Now, there was some other more hard to explain activity that also was recently captured over Miami, Florida, where we had what appeared to be a group of illuminated objects sitting in formation.
Look at this. Look at this. Josh, come here quick. Josh. How's that for a trip? There's more in the background too. You can see them on the camera. Triangle formation. One of them moved from all the way over there to join these and do that. Wow. Flat out f***ing insane. Those two are just flat stationary. Look at that. Huh?
Okay, so this is actually just a small part of a 6-minute clip. Now, I'm not going to play the whole 6 minutes here, but you can feel free to head over and watch the full video. I'll put the link down below. But what I will do, so you guys can see the whole clip and get a better idea of what these objects are doing, what I'm going to do here is play the clip sped up many times. And as you're watching this, we see these, what appear to be 3 objects sitting in a very still triangular formation. First we see 2 objects, and then the third light appears, and the triangle sits for minutes before one of the objects suddenly breaks formation, flying off to the left, as you're seeing here. But the other 2 lights are still there, completely still. And we can actually see real helicopters and other conventional craft flying in the fore and the background. So these 2 lights are still sitting here, and suddenly we see some movement, with one light moving over top the other, and then flying away, leaving just the lone light. However, that's when 2 other lights appear, again, recreating this triangular formation. So this is really strange footage. I have no idea what's going on here. What you guys just saw was a 30-second clip that spanned over 6 minutes. And, I think speeding it up here should give you guys a better idea of the movement of these things and just how still they were setting in formation in between the times where one of them would suddenly leave the area and another one would appear. So, are these drones? Is this some sort of test again? Something else? You guys tell me what you think down below, and big thanks to the viewer who allowed us to feature this here. Very, very interesting. Now, lastly today, and there are a few other small things I'm going to show you at the very end, but the last main topic of today's video has to do with the recent release of this 3rd piece of UFO footage by Mr. Tom DeLonge. We spoke about this in my last video. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and watch it to get brought up to speed. But basically, Mr. Tom DeLonge and his company, just a day or 2 ago, exclusively released this piece of UFO footage that was said to have been taken back in 2015 from an F-18's camera off the East Coast. And if you remember in my last video, I had showed you guys the discovery that was made wherein which this footage, which was allegedly and supposedly totally brand new and exclusively released by Mr. Tom DeLonge, had been discovered on the video sharing website Vimeo, showing a timestamp of it being over 2 years old. And so this obviously caused a lot of confusion, seeing as the footage and everything that we were being told about it was that it was brand new, and that Mr. Tom DeLonge was the first one to get it and the first one to release it, as he stated in his very video featuring and breaking this footage. And so I queried about this, and I posted a question on Twitter: why was this footage on this man's account? And if it's brand new, why is there a timestamp of 2 years old? Now, it turns out that the user of the 2-year timestamp footage, he is a man by the name of Jeremy Korbel, who is a fellow UFO researcher and a filmmaker. And so after my video, of course, he got a ton of messages from viewers asking him why this footage was there, how did he get it, and why the timestamp showed that it had been on his account for 2 years. Obviously, stoking the flames that there was some sort of cover-up or conspiracy here, or that someone wasn't telling the truth about how old this footage was. Likewise, I had received emails from people stating that they had seen the footage over a year ago on the same account. And so Mr. Korbel then posted to his Twitter account directly addressing why this footage was on his account and why it appeared to be 2 years old, saying, quote, "The new DoD release timestamp question. I've been culling my thousands of uploads into groups or projects, as I'm in the process of 2 films for 2018 and doing house cleaning in my Vimeo to make navigation easier on my end. I have been replacing the super old ones with new ones." Now, I also spoke personally through email and direct messaging on Twitter with Mr. Korbel, and he explained further that the UFO footage found on his Vimeo account with the 2-year timestamp wasn't actually 2 years old, and that it indeed was brand new, as Mr. DeLonge had stated. And basically what he is saying, and I'm telling you exactly what he told me, was that basically Vimeo allows you to upload new videos over old ones, basically overwriting them. Apparently then leaving you with a new video, however, with the old timestamp. And that's what he's saying happened here, that he was doing some reorganizing on his Vimeo account, and that he uploaded this new footage over top of a video that was 2 years old, and that is what caused all of this confusion, because people saw the timestamp, and that is what brings us here now. And as I said to Mr. Korbel, obviously you can see why this would cause confusion, and my question for him is that why, if you have this explosive new piece of UFO footage, why would you not just upload it as a new video? Whereas here, Mr. Korbel simply uploaded it over top of an old piece of footage with a 2-year-old timestamp. It just didn't make sense to me. And furthermore, that would also cause confusion, because how many people are going to know to go back and visit a link for a 2-year-old video knowing that you had uploaded this new footage on top of the old one, and with no description information or title, as you're seeing in the video with the 2-year timestamp. And again, Mr. Korbel, who was very nice and responding to me and attempting to explain, basically said that it was just a mistake and that he had re-uploaded it over this old piece of footage, which I didn't even realize you could do on Vimeo. Now, since I broke this story in yesterday's video, Mr. Korbel has now deleted the version of this UFO footage with the 2-year timestamp and has re-uploaded it, complete with titles and description and a fresh timestamp. He did this so as there would be no further confusion. And so, again guys, that was my question. It did cause confusion. I didn't understand why Mr. Korbel would upload this footage over an old video when he could just upload it as a new video and have a lot of people see it, seeing as it was very explosive footage, allegedly coming from the government. And, well, you guys can visit his Twitter, where he explains what happened. But, yeah, it's just all confusing. And I want to ask that all of you guys keep everything civil and not hate bomb Mr. Korbel's Twitter or email. Let's keep it friendly. This is not meant as an attack regarding Jeremy, but just us attempting to get to the truth. So, this is what he told me. You guys can develop your own opinions about this footage down below, and from here we will move forward. So, lastly today, just a few quick pics to show you guys that were sent in by viewers. This is an amazing and really awesome piece of artwork that was created by a guy who goes by the tag Ruddy Muddy on Facebook and Twitter. So this guy does this type of stuff for a living, where he has this van completely covered in dirt, and by cleaning areas of the dirt, he creates masterpieces like this. So he sent this over to me on Twitter, and I couldn't thank him enough. You guys can head over to my Twitter or Facebook and check out his page, where he features similar really awesome artwork. And here we have a pic that was also sent in by one of our younger viewers, a 9-year-old by the name of Joe, who took it upon himself to make some artistic changes to one of his little flying saucer toys, creating a little Secureteam logo and name. So that's really, really awesome. His dad sent this over to me. So big thanks, Joe, if you're watching this. I'm glad that you get some enjoyment from the channel here, and that you'll always keep an open mind and remember just how beautiful and mysterious of a universe we live in. So with that, thank you guys for stopping by today, and thank you all who over the years have sent in emails and artwork and drawings and pictures and fan mail. I don't think I'd be able to continue running this channel without your continued support, so it means a lot. And yeah, you guys know the deal. Stay tuned right here. I've always got new video in the works, so follow me on social media for updates to those, and you guys have a great rest of your night.